Hey, my name is Charlie Hunt, and this is a project I'm calling Every Single Dreamcast Game. I'm having mic issues, so I'm doing external recording and still can't figure out where this tint is coming from, but it's 9/9/18, and we're 19 years into the Dreamcast life cycle. It's still a live system, and we're doing it, man. We're doing it just like Sega. They didn't have everything all together, but they did it. So I'm going to do here is I'm going to play every single Dreamcast game on original hardware. I have a Dreamcast right next to me, original unit. I even bought the matching VMU, which is see-through blue. Got my co-pilot Spencer with me. He'll be in and out as he sees cats and not sees cats. And we're playing one of my favorite games for Dreamcast called Dynamite Cop. I used to play the original Dynamite Cop, which was also called Die Hard Trilogy. Excuse me, Die Hard Arcade. And it did not have the Die Hard license in Japan, so it's called Dynamite Cop. So this is technically Dynamite Deca or Dynamite Cop 2. Um, but yeah, it's I'd be mad if I paid full price for it, but it's a heck of a game. It's really responsive. It's got a lot of that cool stuff that. I guess I'm doing that. It's got a lot of that cool stuff that Sega Dreamcast game. Really responsive, high frame rate. And super Japanese. We're going to play Bruno Dielinger, who has a monkey with him, and in the previous game he was Bruce Willis's character, which that game was like on Saturn hardware, so probably looked just as good. So really corny game, and in this series I'll be talking about the 90s, be talking about games. I am by no means an expert at anything. Oh my gosh. And I'm also trying to entertain you without totally ignoring you. But so this is a beat 'em up. Really, the Streets of Rage legacy is here. It's fast. It's 3D. It's very corny. You play one of three cops. You got to save the president's daughter, which I forget in Die Hard Arcade whether it was actually you had to save your wife or if it was president's daughter type of thing, because they got that license I think pretty far into it, and they just kind of changed some stuff real quick. But it's really once the weapons go crazy in this. One of my demo games yesterday that I was trying to do was Power Stone, and that also has a lot of cool just random stuff. Random weapons you can use. Why does this guy have a turtle shell? Who knows? It's and why do you lose your clothes as your life goes on? Man, I should have played the girl. I could see some of them knockers. Them 1999 knockers. But yeah. I gotta know that I can repeat myself. So this says QuickTime events. Might have been one of the first things that had QuickTime events. They don't come that often. I would always screw them up in the arcade. Maybe you had less time. Maybe I was just nervous because money was on the line. Hi. I mean, how can you not love that? How can you not love that? Oh my gosh. Hey, goes around, comes around. So at this point in time when the Dreamcast came out, it was Nintendo 64 and PlayStation. Saturn had died maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Well, it probably really died like 2.5 years ago, but like was no longer supported by a year and a half ago. So this thing actually had a quick release, and they got some stuff together. I mean, they knew this was their last shot, and they put a package together. But sadly, a lot of things. The shadow of the PS4 was pretty intense, and also, I mean, what Sega was good at the time was arcade games. What is going on? Oh my gosh, I didn't know they did that. Bruno, no. And I think just arcades themselves were kind of falling out of favor. You dead? Get that thing. So they're stuck here with these really cool experiences in the arcade that didn't quite translate to home. Even this thing. Where is she? Oh, she's right behind you, you dummy. Alright. And the home stuff they did do, very Japanese sensibility. They didn't do a ton of, like, American stuff. Like really built for Americans, aside from, like, their sports games, which I'm not a sports guy, but were fantastic, especially for, like, you could think the first entry, like, of a sports game, and you're beating Madden, that's been around for, like, 15 years at the time. That's impressive, man, because, I mean, say what you will about EA, but they are a well-funded studio. I mean, they try to put in new stuff every year. It's gotta be tough to make a sports game. I don't even know if the Japanese were receptive to this, but it's a fun beat-em-up game. I actually, probably sacrilegious, I like the stuff better than Streets of Rage. You're not just walking left to right, you're playing with your environment. I wish the environments were a little bit bigger. It's the second jump I had in a row. So I did have this game. I think I bought it from, like, GameStop for $20 or something like that. I mean, just the economy of games are different now. Like, you have free games coming in, so even at the time, it seemed a little bit silly to be paying $40, $50 for something like this, but it does not dismiss how good of a game it is. And maybe it was still a 56K world there. Oh my gosh. It was still a 56K world, especially in the US during the 90s. But if they would have had some, like, downloadable access for this, maybe that would have been something. I don't think it would have been a game changer at all. People weren't ready, even if the bandwidth and hard drive space were there. I mean, this VMU is 128K worth of memory. Just the economy was different then. Get out. That's funny. This is my third or fourth time trying this. This is the one that's going to launch, though. Last time my sound was flaky, so I didn't use it. And I still can't figure out the tint. I think my VGA adapter might have some issues. I think one of the cats got a hold of it, but we're rolling with it till we figure it out. All right, what do we got? Punch. Boom. Sorry, shell guy. I think maybe some of this beat 'em up stuff did move on to the Yakuza series. I don't know how many. Oh, that's funny. I don't know how many, like, people are working on both, but some of the fighting kind of feels like this in Yakuza games. But those games are just too long, and I really like American voiceovers, even if they're bad. Like, I don't want to read in a game. Which is why I liked Shenmue a lot, and I've played the Yakuza games. I have a couple of them for PS3, but not something I'm really angling to get in. Ooh, get that picture. There we go. Get that pepper. All right, here you go. Come here. You can tell it has the same kind of punchy, like, really quick fighting style as the Virtua Fighter games. Alright, you're just going to warp? Fine. You can actually arrest these guys if you have the gun, but... Man, I'm already running out of stuff to say, and I have, like, 220 more games to go. I really hope this looks decent on the stream. I'm already going to have to put the audio on top of it, which is going to be annoying. Success! Boss level! They just announced Streets of Rage 4, which I hope it's cool. I mean, this Streets of Rage, I think it was a little bit too slow for me, like those brawlers. Like this, just you can get around and bust them up real quick, and I don't know, it's just fluid, whereas those games, it just seemed a little bit slower. This is like my speed. And a lot of my love of this game is coming strictly from the fact that when I was in middle school, I used to pay 50 cents each time to play it. Yeah, because every chef has grenades. Well, this cop has tuna. What do you think about that? Jumbo Matutu. Alright. I'm getting jump kicked. Oh, he threw a grenade. Gotcha. Whoa, man. Get up. Yep, Bruno. Which is Bruce Willis's, like, road... give me a break. Pick this up. It's like this boat, everything is explosive on it. You know, if this guy's hairline was a little bit further forward, I'd think he was supposed to be Steven Seagal. Doesn't have the quick handwork either. So the first game I bought for Dreamcast was Crazy Taxi, and then I did a lot of rentals. This is like one of the systems that Harding's had, which is probably why they ran out of money and shut down. But yeah, keep eating them apples. But yeah, I rented all of them. They kind of stopped buying games after launch, though. But so I played probably every launch game. I have access to every game now, so I'll be playing it. Original hardware, though. The next fall, like, they had a great launch lineup with Sonic Adventure and Soul Calibur, but that following fall, like, was excellent. Like, they had a drought from like September to March, but and totally warranted. I mean, they brought it. They had to prove to some people they were serious, and I think they did. But the casuals mostly were just waiting for PS2, and EA not supporting them. I don't think anything would have changed, but it certainly would have. I think it would have gotten Sony a little bit scared, but was just throw button. I forgot. That's funny. Oh. I think everybody else was kind of on board. Like, I remember THQ and like Crave were porting other people's games, which is totally fine. Ooh, hand grenades. Nice. Can I pick that? Yeah. But like Tony Hawk 1 was ported by like THQ or somebody, and then Activision actually did the second one like 4 months later, which is kind of weird. But best version of Tony Hawk's. Even better than that Xbox version, which I had rented. Alright, tuna melt, let's do this. Give me a break. So each game I'm going to be doing, I'll be doing for at least 20 minutes. You could probably beat this game if you're good at it in 20 minutes. There's 3 missions that I think just take you through different rooms in different orders. Like, they're not totally different. And, I mean, it is crazy to think you could get $50 out of this. And they probably, I'm sure they dropped the price real quick. But man... There's a game about running Sega, but if I ran Sega, I'd be putting all this stuff out. Like, even get a Dreamcast emulator. Like, work with those guys. Be like, hey, let's just put these games out, $10-15 each, and just get it done. Just like those deals you're cutting with the Sonic Mania guys. Fish head. That's it. Uh-oh, where are we going? Let's go. Oh, you dummy, you left your gun. And she's under the bed. Caution. Heck yeah. He's got a rocket launcher, that's funny. Give me a break, I jumped it. I remember in high school in my English class, I did a presentation on the Dreamcast, and I put this game out just because it was quickly pick up and play. And I just saw some slowdown. Look at that. No, kids had fun. It was kind of a wacky game. Like, despite being a total Sonic kid, like, Sonic Adventure didn't really do it for me. I had both at one time, but I don't think I beat either, which is sacrilegious for someone who's going to play every single Dreamcast game, but yeah, this game I certainly beat. Any free half hour I had? Oh no! Oh, this is probably where I'm ending up. This guy stinks. It's very interesting how this controller feels in your hands. It's a lot lighter, and the cord comes out the back, so that's a different feeling. And the stick feels good. I kind of wish it was rubberized like the current ones. But yeah, I think they're really basing off the 3D pad. I mean, they're 2 buttons shy and one... I got a plug. Give them that plug. They're 2 buttons shy and 1 analog stick shy, which is inexcusable. I don't know what they were thinking. Maybe they just want to make it seem like they weren't like PlayStation, but you're gonna be like anybody. They'd rather have you be like that than Saturn. Alright, we're gonna do one more. Then I'm done. But I'm excited and intimidated. I hope I can get done with this. It's not gonna be one a day, but that's pretty much what it'll have to be close to that if I'm gonna do this by the time the 20-year anniversary rolls around, which is next year. Give me a break. Get that thing. Water gun, yeah, that'll hurt a squid. Oh, he's almost done. I've destroyed the Kraken. Alright, my name is Charlie. This is Spencer. And this has been hopefully our first episode of every single Dreamcast game. We will get better. We will have topics. We will have guests playing games with us. And thank you for any attention you've given us. And if you have any ideas, feel free to send them to me on whatever method you've seen this on. Thanks, and we'll be in touch. Don't move.